still. "It's Soggs," someone called. "South side, he's still got a grip." Loch took the grid path at a run, one hand grabbing the crosspipes for balance as she dashed along the narrow surface, the other yanking on her leg chain as it rattled and jangled behind her. Cale was close behind. The other prisoners watched them run by, some shouting encouragement, most silent. "Which rock? Upper grid or lower?" Cale shouted. "The tooth! Lower grid!" Loch grimaced at the reply. The lapis-scala were irregularly shaped like natural boulders. The tooth was a jagged stalactite that hung down like a dragon's fang, its irregular shape so unusual that it necessitated a special frame to lock it into place. The tooth had killed more men than any other stone on the grid, and the cleaners, prisoners kept track of that sort of thing. Loch and Cale had almost reached the tooth when their pipes hit a junction. "God!" Cale hollered. "We've got a man loose!" Loch hit the corner as if she hadn't seen it, and her leg chain snapped taut with a metallic twang that echoed across the grid. Looking down, Loch could see Soggs, an older man, not a killer, probably in for something he wrote or said or sang, clinging to a tiny spur on the great violet stone. His leg chain snapped and jingled as he struggled to pull himself up. "God!" Cale's voice bounced tinny echoes off the shadowed grid. "Switch me over!" There was no way Loch could reach Soggs, not if she kept an arm on the pipes, probably not even if she leapt and trusted in her leg chain to hold both their weights. She gripped the pipes until her knuckles turned white, keeping a scream of frustration in check through sheer willpower. There were murderers and worse at the cleaners. Soggs wasn't one of them. "God!" Cale hollered up to the observation level. "Move your damn arse!" In the maze of grey metal pipes lit from below by the vivid glow of the lapis-scala, the prisoners were completely alone. "It's too far, Loch." Cale gripped the pipes. Loch nodded, then extended a hand without looking at Cale. With a sigh, he handed her his broom. "Soggs! She's coming!" Soggs could see Loch through the grid of pipes between them. He looked into her dark eyes and nodded, even as his sweat-slicked hands began to slip. When she leapt, her whole body stretched to a single line that shattered into pain when her leg chain stopped her fall. Soggs leapt as best he could for the broom she held extended for him. He was perhaps a handbreadth short. If he'd had a foothold to give him purchase, he might have reached her, even with Loch stuck on the wrong pipe and too far away. Instead, one more prisoner escaped the cleaners the only way he could. He was too small to see after a few seconds, but everyone kept looking. The grid was silent, but for the soft tinkle of chains tapping the pipes and the regular rusty squeak as Loch swung back and forth, a shackle digging into her ankle and the useless broom clutched in both hands. Then Toya, one of the guards, slowly clambered down from one of the topside hatches, grunting as he hopped down. "You don't watch your tone, Cale, you'll spend the night dangling," he said easily. "Guards don't come down without a flying charm, no matter how you holler." He stepped lightly past where Cale stood, silent and tight-fisted, then looked down at Loch. "So, your mute friend slipped, did she? Hey, Loch, you hold on to that broom or it's coming out of your hide." Toya chuckled. "Don't worry, boy. You two are good workers. We won't let her fall." He unlocked Cale's leg chain, locked it back onto another pipe, and gestured for Cale to help Loch. "Been cold as hell," he added with a laugh that echoed off the silent grid. "I had money on her to catch the bastard." Warden Oris huffed into the medical clinic where prisoner Loch was being tended for cuts on her leg. Her hands and feet were shackled, as were those of Jeriden, a prisoner stocking supplies under a guard's watchful eye. Most prisoners hunched over a bit or shuffled when the shackles were put on, but Loch sat calmly, back straight, as a nurse applied the bandages. This had to be handled carefully, Loch thought. Too soft and he'd ignore it. Too hard and he'd snap right here. She gave him a look, devoid of anger or curiosity. She knew Warden Oris didn't like her. It was probably her Urajar blood. Oris acted like he had Old Kingdom blood, and a dark-skinned woman who didn't act properly respectful would naturally put his back up. The fact that she was only half Urajar would make him even angrier. Oris